And welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about the topic of failure. Whoop whoop. Oh dear, well, failure. Where do I begin? It is a topic or a word or whatever that brings up a lot of negative, I guess, emotions, and everyone doesn't like it. It's something to be avoided and But what I want to talk about today is how this year I have learned to embrace failure, that I have learned to see failure as a positive as opposed to a negative. I have discussed this in my podcast, which I will link below in more detail with my friend. I think we went on some great tangents. It's a good listen, so do give it a browse if you are interested to hear not only my perspective as what I'm going to also share in this video, but hers as well. And just hopefully you'll learn why we need to embrace failure as opposed to run away from it. So failure, where do I begin? Why have I decided that this year is the year I need to embrace it? Well, first of all, if I hadn't embraced the potentially failing in things, I wouldn't have started my YouTube channel. There we go. In the past, I think this is the big thing that has been stopping me from doing YouTube in particular, but also a lot of other things in my life, and that is because I was fearful of failing, so much to the point that I would therefore not do what it is or what it was I wanted to do at all. I wouldn't even bother trying because I would see in the future that it wasn't going to go anywhere. So I would be like, well, I'm only going to fail, so what's the point? Don't bother. That's not the attitude to have. That attitude has completely taken a whole flip this year, and I've decided that, okay, I'm going to give it a go. If it fails, then I'm not going to say, oh, well, it failed, I did rubbish, it all went wrong, blah, blah, blah. Instead, I'm going to use it as a learning curve. That's what failing and failure is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a learning curve. So instead of thinking, oh, what, I failed, it was awful, and letting that disappointment take over, disappointment will happen regardless. It's natural. You're naturally going to be disappointed when something doesn't work out how you wanted it to. But after you get over that, you just have to sit down, have a breather, and just look back, reflect on how the past year, month, 2 months, whatever has been, and see if there's anything that you can pick out that, okay, I did all this, but maybe that one thing wasn't the best way to do something. Maybe I should have done it in a different way, and that could have progressed me. And maybe that will then start you, or get you to the point where you'll start again, or you'll carry on and learn from that experience and then just keep going. And that is essentially what I'm trying to take from it. It's learning. It's how we learn to get better at doing things. Now, if you look at a celebrity, I can guarantee that every single one of them, or one of these big millionaires, billionaires, these entrepreneurs and stuff, they would have had at some point at least one failure, one big massive failure. And if they say that they don't, I don't believe them at all, because you need to have that experience of failing to understand where to go to next, what to do next, how to progress from that. It's part of the process of achieving what it is you want to achieve. And anything that we do in life, you have to learn how to do it. So failure is just an aspect of that. It's just one way to teach you how to learn and do something better. So yeah, this year I just want to embrace it better and just go for it, because at the end of the day, this is a question I've been asking a lot of the ladies I work with in particular. If I were to put myself a year from now and I were to look back and I didn't do anything at all that I wanted to do, i.e. YouTube, would I hate myself and regret wasting that whole year not doing anything? And the answer is yes. I don't even have to sit and think about it. I would know if I were a year ahead, I would look back and go, why didn't I do that? Because I do that now with a lot of other things in my life. So I know that if I, again, a year ahead and look back and I didn't do anything, I would hate it and I would regret it. So I'd rather go a year from now, look back, maybe a year from now it didn't quite work out, didn't quite get to the point I wanted it to, I kind of failed. And I want to be able to look back and go, well, I gave it a go. I really tried, I really worked hard. Maybe I need to change things up a little bit. I'm not gonna see it as I've wasted my time because I was trying to sort of, what's the word I want? I was trying to grasp at that thing. I was trying to work towards something that I wanted. So why is it a waste of time? Because if I really wanted it and I've worked for it and I tried, then that's fine because I made that effort to get the thing I really, really wanted. Excuse my nose. And I'd rather be in that position where I look back and go, I gave it a go. I'm not going to quit. Maybe I just need to do something different. That's how I'm going to try and go from here on, because usually if I do give something a go and I still fail, I usually just go, right, I'm not going to bother again. But no, I'm determined to try and keep going. So this is something that you can easily put in health and fitness form. So easily. So for a lot of people, weight loss is the biggest goal. This is something I'm trying to take people away from focusing on just that thing, because it's so detrimental and so just soul destroying when you don't see that number that you want on the scale, that you completely forget and disregard all the positive steps that you have taken to try and get to that number on the scale. Okay, and it's the same with this. If you were to look a year from now in a health and fitness journey and you didn't do anything for a whole year, but you wanted a certain number on the scale, you would probably regret that. You would be like, well, why didn't I just take this time to start, because I could have been that number on the scale. You might even have been doing something that whole year, you get to that year ahead and the number still isn't on that scale. Now, if you were to look back on what you did, are you going to regret it? Probably not. If you give yourself a chance to reflect and look back, and this is where journaling, jotting things down is very, very important. Documenting photos, sort of every 3 months progress photos, because health and weight loss isn't, ignore that. Health and fitness isn't always a scale number. You could trim up so many inches, but the number on the scale might be the same. You might trim up and the scale on the end of the whole journey might be higher. You might just notice that you are able to do things that you couldn't do with your body. It's feeling stronger, but everything at the moment's still the same. Then I think just knowing that you are stronger, fitter, you feel better is a win. It's not a failure. And it's so, so important that we reflect on that. So one thing I want to say to everyone is just ditch the scales, because they're just awful. They're not worth it. And if I was to go on my own personal experience, if I'm to look at weight, at the start of my health and fitness, like really into my health and fitness journey, I was 8 stone 10, I think, roughly around that. Body fat was around 22 to 23%. And then my inches weren't too bad, but they were all over the place, but they were okay. Fast forward 5 years, and I've been really well into my health and fitness. I've done so much. Strength training is a big part of it. And I'll jump on the scale and I'm 9 stone, it varies, so I could be 9 stone 3 to 9 stone 7. So it is quite a big jump really. But my body fat is down. I can often get it down to 18%. It's not like that at the moment, but I have been down to 18%. I'm roughly around 20% now. So 3% body fat down is pretty good when I was actually quite low anyway, but it's still a big amount for me. And my inches, oh my gosh, I've lost so many inches. But within saying that as well, I've put inches on in certain areas, but I'm not angry about it because I can see the physical changes. I can see my muscle tone. I can feel how strong I am. So gaining those inches, I really don't care. I actually love it because, as I say, I took progress pics, not periodically, unfortunately, but I did have some from when I very first started to now. And in particular, as I've mentioned in a previous video, the booty is up. It's good. So failing is just not all doom and gloom, is the message of this video. You need to embrace it, and you need to understand that you are allowed to feel disappointed. You are allowed to be a bit disheartened about all the effort that you've put in and then maybe not seeing the result you wanted, but you then need to sit down and reflect and go, no, there's definitely some positives. I can guarantee there will always be a positive in that journey, in whichever aspect of your life, whether it's career, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's, I don't know, just learning. Failure is fine, it's okay, and I don't want it to be a taboo word anymore. It's not worth feeling so down about, and it's going to take some time to learn this. As I say, I've only literally started adapting this into my life this year. And again, 29 years old, it's taken this long to understand now. So if I were to put this in perspective, a different perspective of if you are a parent and you have kids, children, and they have been training to run in a race that's coming up with school maybe, and there's 60 people taking part in this race, and your child is obviously really wanting that first place, but they come 4th, 5th, 10th, whatever, out of 60 kids. What do you say to them when they're disappointed? They come over to you and they're like, oh, well, I didn't win. What do you say? You usually say things like, you did amazing, you took part, you came 10th out of 60 people, you beat 50 people, you beat all these other kids and you still came 10th. That's amazing. You took part, which is amazing. You've been training and it shows that you've been working hard because you came at this position. You've done amazing. You were super fast. You always reinstill the positivity with them. You don't go, oh yeah, you came 10th, what are you doing? That's rubbish. You don't say that, do you? You enforce the positivity and go, you did well, you did so good. This is amazing. So next time we'll keep practicing and you'll be able to beat another 2 kids. You'll be getting faster and faster each time. This is the sort of stuff that we say to our children. So why can't we say it to ourselves? Mind blown. This is what we need to be saying to ourselves, and just accepting, okay, didn't work out, but I've learned something. I've learned something from this experience to move on and carry on. That's what I want you all to know and learn from. Just a nice quick video from me today, I think. So do listen to our podcast down below. We do go into a lot more detail than I have, mostly because my brain is just rattled with just thinking about failure and what I want to say, that I don't think I made a coherent story or whatever. But hopefully if you do listen to the podcast, that helps you out, and at least watching this video gives you the tools to try and see failure in a different light. Full stop. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this quick short video from me. I'm potentially planning, I might do a haul video next. I'll see how I get on. Based on some of the podcasts I have been doing with my friend, I am sort of inspired to do some more videos based on what we talk about as well. So there's going to be more in this health, fitness and well-being series, I guess you can call. So do keep watching, like, comment, subscribe if you did find this video useful. Let me know what you think about failure and see if this is going to change how you perceive it and how you embrace it. Okay then guys, I will see you again for another video. Bye!